Good day, math friends. Let's do fractions, decimals, and percents. Okay, our first objective is to turn these percentages back into decimals. So before we do this, we need to know a little bit about multiplying and dividing by base numbers. As you recall, base number is a 1 followed by any amount of zeros. So you have base 10, base 100, base 1000. So in decimals, we use base 100. So we kind of need to know how to multiply and divide a number by 100. It's pretty easy. If you have a number, let's say you have 27, and I'm multiplying it by 100, all I'm going to do is add these zeros, however many zeros there are. I'm just going to tack them onto the back of this 27. So, 27 times 100 is 2700. Same thing when I'm dividing. If I have a number, let's say 115.9, and I want to divide that by 100, I'm basically just going to move this decimal 1, 2. So however many zeros are in the base number, that's how many times I'm going to move it to the left. So we get our answer is 1.159. So if I take the number 1.59 and I multiply it by 100, then I'm going to move this decimal back the other direction to get 115.9. So basically, if you're multiplying or dividing by a base number, you're just going to be moving it to the left or to the right, depending on how many zeros are in that base number. Okay, one other thing to note is that when you're dealing with percentages, is basically a number over 100. So, for example, 90% is 90 over 100. Okay, 115.9% is 115.9 over 100. Okay, 7% is 7 over 100. Okay, so if I want to take these percentages and do this objective to write them each as a decimal, I want to take these percentages and write them as a decimal, basically dividing by 100. So that means that I'm going to be moving this wherever this decimal point is. I'm going to be moving it over 2 digits to the left. So if I want to take the percentage 90% and write that as a decimal, so we have 90%, then I'm just going to take this decimal here and go 1, 2. So we get 0.9. Okay, there's our answer for the first one. 90% written as a decimal is 0.9. Okay, same thing with this other one, 115.9%. So that's going to be 115.9, and then I'm just going to move this decimal 1, 2. Okay, so we get 1.159. Okay, that's our answer. Taking 115.9%, turning it into a decimal gives us 1.159. Okay, this number 7%. Okay, we have the number 7. Okay, remember there's a decimal there. We're really working with 7.0. Okay, we're just going to go 1, 2. So we get our answer is 0.07. Okay, 7% written as a decimal is 0.07. Okay, let's try a couple more and you'll start to see a pattern emerge. So 30%, we know that that's going to be 30 over 100. Okay, so we have 30%. We're taking 30 divided by 100, so we're just taking this decimal and just saying 1, 2. So 30% equals 0.3. Okay, 30% written as a decimal is 0.3. Okay, 9%, we know that's going to be 9 over 100. So we have 9%. We're just taking that decimal 1, 2. Okay, so 0.09. That's 9% written as a decimal, 0.09. 65%, we know that's 65 over 100. So 65%, we're just taking this decimal, we're just saying 1, 2, just moving it over 2 spots. So we get 0.65. Okay. Pretty simple. Taking percentages, writing them as a decimal, you're just taking that decimal point and moving it 2.2 places over to the left. Okay, just a couple more, maybe different, unusual cases. So 0.3%, we know that's going to be 0.3 over 100. So 0.3%, we're just going to take this decimal, we're just going to say 1, 2, move it over 2 spots, fill in those zeros. So 0.3% equals 0.003. Okay, 0.3% written as a decimal is 0.003. Okay, 445%, we know that's 445 over 100. So we're saying 445%. We know there's a decimal there. We're going to move that once, twice. So we get our answer is 4.45. Okay, there it is, 4.45. Okay, 5,060%. So we're saying that's 5,060 over 100. So 5,060%. We have a decimal here. We're just moving it once, twice. We're going to say that's 50.6. Okay, 5,060% written as a decimal is 50.6. Okay, you guys are starting to see a pattern here. It's pretty simple. Whenever you're given a percentage, any one of these percentages, and the instructions are to write it as a decimal, you're just going to take this decimal point, you're just going to bump it over twice. It's pretty simple, pretty easy pattern. It's not that difficult. Just move it over twice, once, twice. Okay, now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to take decimals and we're going to write them as percentages. So we're basically just doing the reverse of what we were doing earlier. So we're going to take these decimals and write each one as a percent. Okay, so basically it's just the opposite of what we were doing earlier. We're just taking this decimal point and we're just going to move it 1, 2 places to the right. So here we get, as a percentage, 45.2%. Okay, it's very simple. We just take this decimal once, twice. Okay, 45.2%. Same thing with this one, 0.006. We're just going to move it once, twice, so we get 0.6%. Okay, the next one, same thing. We just move it once, twice, so we get 0.2%. Okay, pretty simple. We're just doing the exact opposite of what we were doing earlier, just moving it twice to the right. Okay, same thing. So here, 0.05. We're just going to move that over once, twice, and we're going to say that is 5%. Okay, this next one, 4.78, we just move it over once, twice. So we're going to say that is 478%. 0.1, we just move it over once, twice. Okay, we're going to say that equals 10%. Okay, remember, you just kind of fill in that little zero there. So there it is. Write each as a percent. Just move it over twice. Pretty simple. I'm pretty sure you guys are picking up on this pattern here. Most of the time, you guys will just be able to look at them, just do them in your head. It's that easy. Okay, 3 more. Let's just do 3 more of these, writing as a percentage. So 3.63, we're going to say that is 363%. Just moving that decimal over twice. So 0.03, we know right off the bat that's 3%. You could almost do this just in your head, just looking at it. Just imagine moving this dot over twice. 0.5, that's going to give us 50%. So there's once, there's twice. Fill in that zero, 50%. Our next objective is to write these percentages as fractions. Quick way to do that is to first write them as a fraction and then reduce. So we know 25%. We're going to say 25% equals 25 over 100. All right, 25 over 100 is 25%. Next thing we're going to do is reduce. So if you think about it, you could divide top and bottom by 25. So if I divide the top by 25 and I divide the bottom by 25, I get 1 over 4. So 25% written as a fraction is 1/4. Okay, same thing with 70%. We're going to say that that equals 70 over 100. There's your definition of your percentages, just a number divided by 100. And it looks like we could divide both top and bottom by 10. Simply cross those out. It's a quick way to divide by 10. And what we're left with is 7 over 10. So 70% written as a fraction is 7/10. 93%, we're going to say that's 93 over 100. And ask yourself if you could reduce that. Can you reduce that? Can you divide? Well, can't divide top and bottom by 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 because this is ending in an odd number. And so if you go through all your numbers and you find that you can't reduce this, then that's your answer. You're just going to say that it's 93 over 100. So our answer for 93% written as a fraction is 93 over 100. All right, a couple more. So let's start at the top here, 58%. We're going to say that that equals 58 over 100. Now we need to go ahead and reduce this. So it looks like we divide top and bottom by 2. So 58 divided by 2 and 100 divided by 2. So 58 divided by 2, I believe that is going to be 29. And 100 divided by 2 is 50. It doesn't look like we could reduce this any further, so there's our answer. 58% written as a fraction is 29 over 50. Okay, 50%, we're going to say that that's 50 over 100. And we could divide both the top and bottom by 50, reducing our fraction. Looks like we get 1/2. So 50% is 1/2. You got 1/2 of something, you have 50% of it. Okay, 20%, we're going to say that that equals 20 over 100. Looks like we could divide the top by 20 and divide the bottom by 20. So what we're left with is 1/5. There's our answer. 20% written as a fraction is 1 over 5. Okay, the top one, 80%. We're going to say that that equals 80 over 100. Looks like we could divide both top and bottom by 20. So divide the top by 20, divide the bottom by 20. Looks like we get 4/5. There's our answer. 80% written as a fraction is 4/5. Okay, 71%. That equals 71 over 100. Try and see if you can reduce that. And I don't see a way to reduce that any further. So our answer, we're just going to go ahead and say that that equals 71 over 100. Okay, remember, all we're doing is making a fraction and then reducing it. So if you can't reduce it any further, then that's what you're stuck with. Okay, 30%. That equals 30 over 100. Looks like we could divide that by 10. So we get our answer as 3/10. Okay, 3/10. 30% written as a fraction is 3/10. Okay, let's do some repeating decimals. So that's when you have, repeating decimals. So basically 0.111 repeating or 0.1 repeating is just 0.11111, and that just keeps on going on forever, all the way, forever and ever and ever, right? So that's kind of what your repeating decimals are. And easy way to do repeating decimals is like so. So here we have 0.11111 repeating. I'm going to say that that's 0.1, right, repeating. So it's pretty easy. You're just going to say that that is 1 divided by 9. You're just going to take whatever it is. Now, this is the case for repeating decimals only. Repeating decimals, that you just take whatever that number is that's repeating, and you stick the number 9 underneath. So if you were to get out your calculator, type in 1 divided by 9, you're going to see your answer is going to be 0.1111111. And I'll show you a little bit later on why this is. Okay, so 0.33333, right? That's just 0.3 repeating. We're just going to say that that's 3 over 9. And then, of course, we could reduce that further if we divide the top by 3 and the bottom by 3. What we're left with is 1/3. So there it is, 0.3 repeating equals 1/3. Should go ahead and square the little answer box there. So pretty simple. So here we have 0.4 repeating. We're just going to say that that is 4/9. Okay, pretty easy. Repeating decimals, this is how you do it. Okay, now what if you have something like this, 0.545454, and that just keeps on going on forever? Now what you notice is that there's 2 decimals that are repeating. 54, 54, 54. So every 2 digits it's repeating. So instead of 9, we're going to use the number 99. So we're going to say that that equals 54/99. Okay, 54/99. And then you're going to see if you could reduce that any further. So you're going to see, well, it looks like we could divide both top and bottom by 9. So divide this by 9, divide that by 9. 54 divided by 9, that gives us 6. 99 divided by 9 is 11. So 0.545454 equals 6/11. And if you punch that in your calculator, you're going to go ahead and see that that's true. If you divide 6 by 11, you're going to get 0.5454, and that's just going to keep on going. So the next problem here, 0.6363 repeating. We're just going to go ahead and say that that's 63/99. And then we're going to see if we could reduce. So once again, looks like we could divide the top and bottom both by 9. So we're going to say that's 7/9. Oop. I'm sorry, not 7/9. What I meant to say is 7/11. So 7/11. So if you plug that in your calculator, 7 divided by 11, sure enough, you're going to get 0.6363 repeating. Okay, 0.3131. We're just going to say that's 31/99. And it doesn't look like that could be reduced any further. So we're just going to go ahead and say that that's our answer, 31/99. Now real quick, how could I tell these numbers are divisible by 9? If you go back to my lesson on casting out nines and digit sums, basically I'm just adding these numbers up. I'm getting the sum. So 6 plus 3 equals 9. So therefore I know 63 is divisible by 9. Same with 54. 5 plus 4 equals 9. So I know 54 is divisible by 9. Same with the number 99. 9 plus 9 equals 18. And then 1 plus 8 equals 9. So I know 999 is divisible by 9. Go ahead and check out my video on casting out nines and digit sums. You'll find a quick way to discover if a number is divisible by 3 or 9, etc. So this is basically how we're going to do our repeating decimals. We're just going to find out how many digits there are. If it's repeating every 2 digits, then we're going to divide by 99. And of course, as you already guessed, if it's 3 digits repeating or 4 digits repeating, then we're just going to use that many number 9s. So this is for repeating decimals. So if I have 0.123, and that's repeating, then I'm going to say that's 123/99, or 999, excuse me. So we have 3 digits that are repeating. We're going to use 4 9s in the denominator. So it looks like we could divide both top and bottom by 3. I believe so. Yeah, 123 divided by 3. That's going to give us 41/333. So there's our answer, 41/333. Okay, if I have some number 635, and that's repeating. I'm just going to say that's 635/999. And I believe that's already reduced as far as it could go. So if you use your calculator, 635 divided by 999, you're going to get this decimal out. So yeah, this is how we're going to go ahead and write repeating decimals as fractions. So now I'd kind of like to show you the theory behind why that works. So let's say I want to convert the number 0.6 repeating, which as we know is just 0.66666. This just keeps on going on forever, right? So what we do is we're going to say x equals 0.6666 repeating. Okay? All we're going to do is assign a variable to the decimal, and then we're going to multiply by 10. So then we're going to say 10x equals 6.666666, right? So remember that multiplying by a base number, you're just going to move that decimal over once. Okay? So we just move that decimal over once. And now we're going to say that 10x minus x equals 6.66666, goes on forever, minus 0.66666, right? So we're just taking 10x, which equals this number here, and we're subtracting x, which is this portion. So here we got 10x minus 1x. That's going to leave us 9x equals 6. Okay, 9x equals 6. That's what we get when we subtract. So we're going to say x equals 6 over 9. X equals 2/3. So you can see that when we said earlier when we're dividing that repeating decimal by 9, this is kind of the reasoning behind why we do that, why we take that repeating decimal, 6 is the repeating decimal, and we divide it by 9. It's kind of here, this 10x minus the x, this whole process that we just got done doing here is kind of the reasoning behind why we do that. Here, I'll show you guys again with a different number. Okay, if I want to take 0.11111 and write it as a fraction, okay, so I'm going to say x equals 0.11111. Okay, therefore 10x equals 1.1111. I'm just multiplying it by 1. And then I'm going to say 10x minus x equals 1.1111 minus 0.11111. Okay, so I get 9x equals 1. X equals 1 over 9. So now you can kind of see why we take the repeating decimal and simply divide it by 9. This is the reasoning behind that. Now this is kind of the same also if you have, if you're doing it with repeating something that's repeating twice. So let's say 0.121212, and that just keeps on going on forever. Okay, we're going to kind of do the same thing, except we're going to have to multiply by 100. So we're going to have to bump this over twice. So we're going to say x equals 0.1212, and that's repeating. So 100x equals 12.1212, repeating. So 100x minus x equals 12.1212 minus 0.1212. So we get 99x equals 12. So x equals 12 over 99. Okay, that's like I was telling you earlier that if you have two digits, you're going to put 2. If you have two digits, you're going to put 99, so 2 9s in the denominator. You know, obviously we could reduce this a little bit further by looking at it. So we could divide top and bottom by 3. So we're going to say that this equals 4 over 33. 4 over 33. Okay, so there's the reasoning behind that. Just when you get your repeating decimals, just tack the 9s, however many 9s you need underneath it, and reduce. And that's your shortcut for writing repeating decimals as a fraction. Okay, so what if we get a number like 3.12, and that 12 is just repeating on forever and ever? So we just kind of break these apart. We're going to break apart this portion of it and this portion of it. So we're going to say that this is 3 plus 12 over 99. Okay. So 12 over 99, we know that can reduce by 3. So we're going to say that this whole thing here, we're going to say this equals 3 plus, 12 divided by 3, that gives us 4. 99 divided by 3 gives us 33. So here's what we're left with, 3 plus 4 over 33. Now I want to take this number 3 and turn it into a fraction. So how do I turn the number 3 into a fraction? Simple. It's just going to be 3 over 1. Right? 3 divided by 1 is 3. So you could always write a whole number as a fraction just by putting a 1 in the denominator. And then we're going to say that's plus 4 over 33. Okay, now using our Vedic formula, vertically and crosswise. If you don't know how to do that, watch my video on Vedic math fractions, doing vertically and crosswise, how to add fractions. Real simply, quick way to do fractions when you're adding is the numerator. I'm gonna separate the numerator and denominator. So I'm gonna get 3 times 33 plus 4 times 1, and the denominator is 1 times 33. Okay, so basically, I'm just saying 3 times 33, there's your 3 times 33, plus, that's our operation, plus 4 times 1. So that's our vertically and crosswise formula, our Vedic math. 3 times 33 plus 4 times 1. So 3 times 33 is 99. 99 plus 4. 99 plus 4 is 103. So 103 over 33. Right? 103 divided by 33. So ask yourselves, how many times 103, how many times does 33 go into 103? Okay, how many times does 33 go into 103? This is our improper fraction. I guess you could leave it like that, but if you wanted to do the other way, you're going to say that that is 3. Because 3 times 33 is 99. You're left with 4 over 3 and 4 33rds. Okay. So you can go ahead and say that this is your answer or this is your answer. So this is how you do when you have something like this. It's repeating. You're just going to kind of go ahead and split these apart. Do a little Vedic math. I have in one of my other videos. And there's your answer. So 3.12 written as a fraction is 103 over 33, or 3 and 4 33rds. Okay, the last portion of this lesson is how to write fractions as a percentage. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little bit of long division. So 1 divided by 2, or 1/2, written as a percent, we're going to say that that's 1 divided by 2. You can go ahead and put in some zeros there. So 2 goes into 1 0 times. 0 times 2 is 0. And 1 minus 0, that gives us 1. And then we bring this 0 down. And since we're at the point where this decimal is, we need to bring it up. Put the decimal there. Now 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 2 equals 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. So we know we're done zeros, right? So 1 over 2, or 1/2, as a decimal equals 0.5. Okay, but we want the percent. We want the percent. So we know that what we have to do from earlier is move that decimal over twice. So we're going to get 50%. Okay, 1/2 equals 50%. So this is the basic way to do it. We're just going to do long division. Okay, 1/8. So we're saying that that's 1 divided by 8. Okay, 8 goes into 1 0 times. 0 times 8 is 0. And 1 minus 0, that gives us 1. And we bring this 0 down. 8 goes into 10. 8 goes into 10 once with 2 left over. So 1 times 8 gives us 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. Bring that next 0 down. Okay, 8 goes into 20. 8 goes into 20 twice. 2 times 8 gives us 16. Okay, 20 minus 16 gives us 4. Bring that 0 down. And 8 goes into 40 5 times. So 1/8 written as a decimal. 5 times 8, that equals 40. So once you get a 0 down there at the bottom, you know you're done with your long division. So 1/8 written as a decimal equals 0.125. But now we want to convert it to a percentage. So we're just going to move this over twice. So we get 12.5%. Okay, there's our answer, 12.5%. Okay, last problem, 3/8. So we're going to say that that is 3 divided by 8. 8 goes into 3. 0 times 8 is 0. Okay, 3 minus 0 gives us 3. We're going to bring that 0 down. Okay, don't forget that, we just went over this. When we brought the 0 down is on the other side of that decimal, so you got to place that decimal now. 8 goes into 30 3 times. 3 times 8 equals 24. 30 minus 24 gives us 6. Okay, we're going to bring that 0 down. Okay, how many times does 8 go into 60? Well, let's see. 8 goes into, closest you could get to 60, I believe, is 56. So that's going to be 7 times. 7 times 8 equals 56. Okay, 60 minus 56 gives us 4. Bring that 0 down. 8 goes into 40. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 gives us 40. So now we got a 0, so now we know we're done. So 3/8, we're going to say that that equals to 0.375. Okay, 0.375, but we need a percent. So we're just going to do that once, twice, and we get 37.5%. There's our final answer, 37.5%. Okay, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to thank you guys for watching. Please take the time to like and subscribe if you want to see more of these. And if you want to leave a comment, go ahead. I'll get to those and try and answer them as soon as possible. Okay, you guys, thanks for your time. I hope this helps you out.